Hello everybody, and welcome to my Four Boys and an NL Girl podcast. My name is Patty. I am coming to you from the province of Newfoundland and Labrador in Canada. I live in on the island of Newfoundland at almost one of the most most easterly point in North America. And I'm back. I haven't completed a knitting podcast in quite a while. I have been doing a fair bit of cross stitching, but not as much knitting. But here recently I have been doing a little bit, so I wanted to check in and do my regular podcast format and say hello to all my wonderful viewers. And if you're new and visiting, then thank you so much. I hope you like what you see. I've changed the format of my podcast a little bit. This particular podcast is about knitting and crafting and sewing and quilting and rug hooking and doing all the things. And I've also started another floss tube style podcast, in which I talk about my cross-stitching adventures. I'm a cross-stitch designer, and I talk about all the cross-stitching that I do on my floss tube channel, which is this channel, but just a different video format. So in a little while, I'm going to videotape a Stitch With Me video, and that will be for cross-stitch, and today, right now, is all about knitting. And I'm probably going to be visited by the cats. The fireplace is going. It's a rainy 6-degree day here, but it's kind of chilly inside, so we have the fire lit. And we are, my husband has been home this week, which is one of the reasons why it's taken me until this time of the week to get a podcast taped, because it's very difficult for me to do a video recording when there's somebody else in the house. And when my husband's home, he's a real taskmaster. We got to do this and we got to do that, and there's all these things that we need to do. So I found it a bit more difficult to do a taping. So I'm here now, and I want to show you some of the things I've been working on. Now, first of all, I have to get, if I can reach it, maybe not. Yeah, I was going to get a sock blocker, but I don't see one there. So in my beautiful drawstring bag, this is the Evertote drawstring bag, and it's very special to me for two reasons. One is that my friend Caroline at Evertote, hi Caroline, made it, and she gave it to me when I was attending a cross-stitch retreat with her in October in Ontario. But the other reason it's special is that, from what I understand, there aren't a whole lot of drawstring bags made by Caroline at Evertote. So I am feel very special that I have one of hers. So let's get into this yarn. So I'm going to show you, this is a sock. It's the Jemima sock. The pattern is by Kay Jones from the Bakery Bears. And I am knitting it using this. Now, I don't have to admit, I don't have the... I know that this is an Irish yarn. I know it's done by an Irish indie dyer, and if I can find the label somewhere, I know it's called Dude in the Lab Coat. I'm using Patton's Croy for the heels and toes, and I'm using this gorgeous hand-dyed. I know the colorway is called Dude in a Lab Coat, and I will try and find the indie dyer name for you. Ellie and Ada rings a bell, but I'm not sure if that's who the dyers are or not. Let's see, is that it? No, that's not it. So here's my first sock. Now I realize that this would look a whole lot better if it was on a sock blocker. But the pattern, and here is where the last time I showed you, this is where I was on this sock. So see, I have no angel. I have not forgotten my lovely knitter friends. I just haven't been doing as much knitting as I have been cross-stitching, so that's why you see me more cross-stitching. So here, anyway, here's the pattern is beautiful and it looks gorgeous in this colorway. I love the pop of the heels and toe, but look at that pattern. It's such a pretty, pretty pattern. Really, really easy. So this is one of I think it's called the Miss Potter Sock Club. So there's 3 patterns in it. This is a Jemima pattern. There's also a Peter pattern, and I can't remember the name of the other pattern. But I would highly recommend buying the pattern pack. It's I can't remember how much it is, but it is a paid pattern on Ravelry. But the thing that Kay does with her patterns is she also includes 1 or 2 tutorials in with the patterns, which I have found really, really helpful. And this particular heel style, where you purl the first 3 stitches in this heel style that she is showing here, she's put in a tutorial for that, and it's been the easiest way that I have found to pick up stitches along the edge ever. And the toe construction was also different for me. This is called an umbrella toe, and I really like that toe construction. It's comfortable to wear, and it was really super, super easy to knit as well. So that's my first sock. My second sock, which is housed, and this is another Evertoad treat. This is a DPN holder by Evertoad. What are you doing, Kat? What are you doing? Oh, she says, give me attention. And then I am this far on my second sock. So I almost have the, I'm almost ready to start on the heel. I think I have about 8 more rows to knit. It looks pretty close there. So I have to count some rows and make sure that I'm doing identical knitting. But yeah, so I'm almost ready to turn heel, which is exciting. So that's that project. I'm just going to put away my DPNs and my project into this beautiful bag. Don't you love the sound of a drawstring? It's great. So I got spoiled at Christmas. My parents were, in my family we do a Secret Santa giveaway. There are, I'd have to count, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. There's 10 of us, 10 adults. What we decided to do a number of years ago is, instead of giving each of 10 a present because that was expensive, we decided that we'd do Secret Santa amongst the 10 of us. So my sister-in-law's been handling that for the past few years, and then this year I did the sending out of all the names and getting people to submit. So you have to write a list of things that you want for Christmas, or people, I mean, you could always have the option of picking out things that you think that person would like. We have a cap, a kind of a monetary cap on it, so you can spend around this amount of money. And then in my list, I had added a gift certificate from my local yarn shop, which I got, and I also asked for a Fringe Supply Company bag. So I have this one, and I'm really happy with it. It's still really stiff because I haven't used it that much. It's got this beautiful leather holder on it. It sits up really nicely like a bowl. You can see the it's constructive canvas, so it's a really nice bowl. And then inside I am using, let's see if I can, so you can see it on the inside, it has, hopefully you can see that, grommets, so that you can put your yarn through there and they're not getting tangled. So the pattern that I have, I'm starting in here is the Tin Can Knits Flax Sweater. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and it's a very popular pattern on Ravelry. It's a pullover. Here's a black and white picture of the sweater. I'm changing mine a bit. I'm going to knit mine in short sleeves. So that's one change that I'm making. And instead of knitting in worsted, I'm holding 2 strands of fingering weight. So this is just barely started. But these are the 2 colorways that I'm using. This is a Babbles yarn in Storm Cloud. And these are both indie dyers from Ireland. So I bought these when I was in Ireland. So this is Babbles yarn. Hi, Grace. Grace at Babbles. Babbles Traveling Yarn, I think is the name of her podcast. I'll look that up though and put it at the bottom of the screen. This is one, it's called Magenta, and the colorway is, and it's by Strand Designs, and unfortunately she's not dyeing anymore, another Irish dyer, which is really too bad. She's one of my favorite Irish dyers. So that, and it's a neat, so it's got these pretty little pops of color in it. And right now I can show you, I have literally cast on and knit 5 stitches. But that kind of gives you a sense of what color that's coming up to. So that's giving me my worsted weight. And that's the start. And then I'll just insert a picture here. And then that shows the kind of the plan. I have taken out 2 of those. I think 2 of the skeins I'm not going to need because where I'm doing this in short sleeve. But I wanted to show you the other colors I'm putting with this. So after this pink and gray, I am going to change to this gray and pink variegated with blues. And then in keeping with the blue theme, and these are 2 more from, this one is another Strand Design, and this one's Queen Fiber, which is from the UK, isn't it? It's called Cuttlefish. I bought it when I was in Barcelona, but this one is a UK dyer. I'm sure you recognize that dyer name. And then I'm using 2 more. These are Greta and the fibers. These are both dyed in Barcelona. So then I'm going to pull the colors from this and go into the blues in the bottom. So I'm really happy. I think this is going to turn out beautifully, but it's probably going to take me a year to knit it. I'm very, very slow with my sweaters, but I wanted to show you that because it is something I'm starting. Hello, Angel. That's about it for me today. I know it's a short podcast, but I wanted to stop in and say hello, that I have not forgotten you. I'm still knitting, and I hope to be doing more regular podcasts from here on, with an exception. I hope to get something out next week on, that's the last week of January. But after that, we are going on a family holiday. If you don't watch my FOSS2 videos, then you don't know. We have planned a surprise trip to Disney in Florida for our 3 boys, and we're going to be away for the first week or so in February. Our regular cat sitter's coming in to look after our cats. Hey, Angel. Yes, I get very spoiled. But it's a surprise. We're not telling the boys until the Saturday morning when we leave, and I'm really excited. It's getting harder and harder to keep that surprise because the time is getting closer, and I'm starting to pack a few things for them, and they've tried on a whole bunch of summer clothes under the guise of trying on hand-me-downs so we could clean out their drawers a little bit. So I know that at least 2 of them are good for t-shirts and socks and shoes and shorts. It's just the eldest one I need to work on. Anyway, that's what I'm going to be working on over the next few days. I hope that you folks get some time for some creative expression over the next week, and I hope to chat with you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.